Boxing is a sport that always craves the next big thing, and right now, all eyes are on Moses Itauma. At just 20 years old, Itauma has already carved out a reputation as a monster heavyweight, a fighter so young, so powerful, and so dominant that people are already calling him the second coming of Mike Tyson.
Is doing at this point what I think should have been doing in the first book.
Why Tyson? Because just like Iron Mike, Moses is dispatching opponents in terrifying fashion, fast, brutal knockouts that don't just end fights, they send shockwaves through the division. His speed for a heavyweight is unusual, his confidence is unshakable, and his power simply devastating. And the hype only exploded after his knockout of Dillian Whyte, a former world title challenger. That fight wasn't just a win, it was a statement. A teenager stepping into the ring against an experienced, battle-hardened fighter and putting him away in emphatic style. That moment turned Moses from a promising prospect into the heavyweight monster nobody wants to fight. But Moses Itauma isn't just another hype job. He's undefeated, rising fast, and carries himself with the swagger of a future champion. The question now isn't if he will dominate, but when. And the fear spreading through the heavyweight division tells you everything nobody wants to be next. Moses Itauma's story didn't begin under the bright lights of a professional ring. It started long before that in the amateur scene, where he quickly became one of the most feared young boxers in the world. Born in Kent, England, to a Ghanaian father and Slovakian mother, Moses showed freakish talent early on. By the time he was a teenager, he wasn't just competing, he was dominating older, stronger opponents. His size, speed, and natural instincts inside the ring made him stand out instantly. The real breakthrough came at the 2022 AIBA World Youth Championships. Moses didn't just win gold, he ran through the tournament, crushing opponents and proving that his power and skill were world-class. At just 17 years old, he became a youth world champion, and the boxing world started whispering the same phrase over and over, the next Tyson. But Moses wasn't just winning, he was terrifying people. His knockout ratio in the amateurs, where knockouts are far rarer than in the pros, showed that his power wasn't normal.
He's ridiculous talent.
Coaches, scouts, and even rival fighters started saying it out loud. This kid was born to be a heavyweight monster. When Moses turned professional, he didn't ease into it. On his pro debut in January 2023, he destroyed Marcel Bodie in just 23 seconds. That knockout wasn't just a win, it was a warning shot. Boxing fans suddenly realized this teenager is not playing games. From that moment on, the rise of Moses Itauma became inevitable. With every fight, every knockout, every dominant performance, the question wasn't, can he be great? It was, who can possibly stop him? Every young prospect has that one fight that changes everything. The moment when people stop calling them promising and start calling them dangerous. For Moses Itauma, that moment came when he stepped into the ring with former world title challenger Dillian Whyte.
Just worry about him putting that right hand in front of his face, Dillian Whyte, because we've seen how dangerous Moses Itauma is.
Now, Whyte wasn't just some random opponent. This was a man who had fought the very best Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Alexander Povetkin, a true gatekeeper of the heavyweight elite, the type of fighter that prospects usually avoid, not chase. But Moses didn't hesitate. He wanted the smoke, and he got it. From the opening bell, it was clear something was different. Moses wasn't intimidated. He wasn't nervous. He walked right into the fire and took control of the fight.
Because we've seen how dangerous Moses Itauma.
His jab was sharp, his movement looked effortless, and every punch carried the kind of weight that makes opponents second-guess stepping forward. And then came the moment everyone will remember. In the middle rounds, Moses landed a thunderous combination that sent Dillian Whyte crashing to the canvas. It wasn't just a knockout, it was a statement. The kind of finish that instantly goes viral, replayed across highlight reels, and sparks headlines like, "Is this the new Mike Tyson?" That one punch changed everything. Fans who barely knew Moses before suddenly couldn't stop talking about him. Promoters started circling. Heavyweights who thought of him as just a kid realized this wasn't hype, this was real power. After the fight, the media storm began. Clips of the knockout flooded social media. Interviews and reactions poured in, with fans and pundits alike saying the same thing: Moses Itauma isn't the future, he's already here. And perhaps the most important takeaway, that knockout didn't just put Moses on the map, it put the entire heavyweight division on notice. Because if he could do that to a veteran like Whyte, what would he do to the rest? After the destruction of Dillian Whyte, the boxing world suddenly went silent, and not because people weren't impressed, but because other heavyweights started avoiding Moses Itauma.
Moses Itauma will wreck all them old men out of the division. All these big names of the past are all a spent force. And even the world champion now, they took my belts and give them to Usyk. Moses still reckon, because he's a young man versus an old man. And old men can't mess with young men.
Think about it. You've got guys with 20, 30 pro fights who are struggling to stay relevant, and then here comes a teenager barely old enough to buy a drink in some countries, knocking out veterans with ease.
He can box behind that jab, great southpaw lead, but we knew also straight away on that front foot. Oh, what a shot!
What does that mean for the rest of the division? It means danger, it means risk, and it means most fighters want nothing to do with him.
Itauma, who's looking for the finish. Still 90 seconds in the round to go, and in goes the towel. Down goes.
Promoters started calling, asking for step-up fights, but when names were offered, most opponents suddenly had scheduling issues. Fighters who talk tough online, they went quiet when Moses' name got mentioned. It's the classic story. Everyone says they're ready until they actually get the contract. And here's the scary part. Moses isn't even close to his peak yet. He's still developing, still learning, still growing into his power. Which raises the obvious question, if he's already doing this now, what happens when he hits his prime? The comparisons to Mike Tyson aren't just hype, they're becoming reality. The aura, the intimidation, the speed, the ferocity, it's all there. And while some critics say it's too soon, the truth is, heavyweights know the danger when they see it. And right now, every contender, every belt holder, every so-called top dog is looking at Moses Itauma and asking themselves one thing: do I really want to fight this kid? Fans already know the answer. They want the fights. They want to see Moses against the big names: Joshua, Fury, Wilder, Usyk. But behind the scenes, there's hesitation, because one loss to a teenage destroyer could end a career, ruin a legacy, or kill a payday. So, here we are, Moses Itauma, the monster heavyweight nobody wants to fight. He's not just chasing greatness, he's forcing the division to acknowledge it. And whether they like it or not, whether they hide or not, the clock is ticking, because Moses Itauma isn't just coming for the heavyweight throne, he's coming for all of them. And there you have it, the rise of Moses Itauma, the teenage heavyweight who just turned Dillian Whyte into a highlight reel, and now has the entire division looking over their shoulders. From his early days, smashing opponents in the amateurs, to his terrifying KO power as a pro, to the way even seasoned veterans don't want his name on a contract, this kid is already rewriting the script for what a heavyweight prospect should be. The truth is, we might be watching the birth of the next Mike Tyson, or maybe something even scarier. Because Moses isn't just fast, powerful, and ruthless, he's fearless, and in boxing, that combination is lethal. But here's the real question: who's brave enough to step in the ring with him next? Will a top name finally accept the challenge? Or will the so-called best heavyweights in the world keep finding excuses to stay away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you want to see Moses Itauma fight next? And do you think he's really the future face of heavyweight boxing? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the wild world of boxing, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because one thing's for sure, whether you love him, fear him, or doubt him, Moses Itauma is coming, and the heavyweight division will never be the same again.